Hello, it's Jack, and welcome back to one more episode in the garage, Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. As some of you may recognise this wonderful beast of a vehicle, the Crown Vic NYPD police car that we purchased some time ago in a junkyard with flashing lights and everything else. Well, a few changes. One thing that you may notice is the garage is slightly more extended than before. A couple of projects ongoing there, two wonderful Porsches. We have a paint shop and all sorts of good stuff now, but that's for another video. I've been working extremely hard in upgrading and getting the experience points needed to basically get to where we are today, or now as I should say. A bit more money in the bank, but the thing is, we didn't finish off this one. If you remember, the last video I left you on was I did the rebuild of the engine, and we had the value of this vehicle at a specific amount. We purchased this for about $15,000, and we got it back to the garage, and it wouldn't start, and it was worth about $19,000 or thereabouts. So it would have made about $4,000 profit if we just sold it on, which incidentally we should have done, because this bad boy does not get that much cash in the bank. It doesn't make that much coin, to be fair. And as I said before, I've not worked on one of these before. It's a modded vehicle. But you know what? I did the engine, did the running gear, and it's still not worth that much. But I thought I'd hang on to it, because now that I have upgraded the garage and we have the spray booth, I thought, I know the spray booth doesn't add any money, but I thought that we could actually give it the correct livery, as in we can give it the NYPD decals that it needs. In addition, over here we have the welding tool. So I thought, to increase the profit on this vehicle, and I'm going to go through and run down the cost of what I've actually spent on this vehicle and what it's worth now, and how much profit I'm actually into this vehicle for. And I am in profit, kind of. Not a great deal of cash in one of these cars, and I don't know if it's the mileage, or I don't know if it's the general overall condition, which is actually pretty good. But either way, let's bring up some of the plates to show you exactly what we've spent and what we stand in the car right now. Ignore the current bank account. I have taken notes of the bank account when I was working on this vehicle, so that the actual numbers will tally up. You'll see that, so don't be confused by the 141,000 in the bank right now. Because like I said, I did take notes. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the costs of this wonderful vehicle, and you can make your own mind up and see what you think. So here we are. Here's our wonderful cost breakdown. Now, as you can see, the cash in the bank before we've actually bought this from the scrapyard, and I'm rounding these up and down to the nearest thousand, so there might be slight discrepancies, but you get the idea. There was 58,000 in the bank before we purchased this wonderful police car, which made the amount in the bank after the purchase 43,000. Now, car value was at that point 19,000. Could have sold it $4,000 profit. However, we decided to do, or rather I decided to do a engine restoration up to 50%, and that 50% is one of the issues why this car doesn't earn that much cash. Okay, now bear in mind, a lot of work went into rebuilding this engine. So cash in bank after the engine restoration is 29,000. So we purchased the car, we had 43 in the bank, we restored the engine. I don't know how this went wrong, but it did. It went sadly wrong. 29,000 in the bank after the engine restoration. I know the engine block had to be replaced. That was, I think, 2,300, and there was lots of other bits and pieces that, because remember, I wasn't trying to repair. I couldn't repair that much at all because my repair skills at that point were not good. But the car value did jump 10,000. But we've spent a lot more on the car. So if we were to look at what's in the bank and then look at the car value at this point in time, with a pretty much not brand new engine, but certainly up to 50% or more on most parts, 58,000 in the bank. Well, We started with 58,000 before we bought the car, and 58 minus 58 is no profit. But let's just go further. Let's add insult to injury. Let's rub some salt in the wound because we didn't stop there, or rather I didn't stop there. I thought, well, maybe if I replace the running gear, that's going to increase the profit in the vehicle. When I say running gear, I'm talking about the brakes, the suspension, and again, sticking to the 50% or more. But because a lot of the parts were maybe at 43% or 44% and I wasn't repairing them, I had to buy new parts, which is not good, as you'll see. So this is the cost of the breakdown for the running gear. Bear in mind we had 29,000 in the bank, and the car value was 29,000, 58,000 from the previous slide. Okay, so cash in bank after the running gear was 24,000. So we actually spent, well, do the maths, it's $5,000 on replacing the running gear. But the car value did jump another 6,000. So you would think, well, okay, we spent 5 and we've got 6, which is great, which means the value of the vehicle now at 35,000 or thereabouts, 59 minus 58, is $1,000 profit. How about that? All that work, time and effort, and you get $1,000 profit. So when we were singing for joy, or rather I was singing for joy when we got the car into the garage, saying we're into this already for a $4,000 profit because we paid 15, it's worth 19. That is at that point when we should have sold the vehicle. Now, it's obviously not a high value car. When we actually go back to the garage, we'll go through what's actually been replaced on the car and fixed on the car, and you'll see that obviously it's in pretty good condition right now. It could probably go back on the streets and serve the NYPD once more. So you might think, well, why the hell do you want to put a livery on it and paint it and spray it when you don't get any profit out of it? Well, at this point in time, I'm just cutting my losses. I'm just going to say, you know what, let's just get it out back on the streets and it's going to be fine. I'm sure it will make some police officer and his buddy happy. And I'm going to see if actually repairing the frame, which I can now do, which again is another 1,000 with the welding gear I've now got, to see if that actually makes any difference. But one thing worthy of note is that when you're fixing something to 50%, even the small value items like bushes and maybe a piston ring or push rod or whatever, if you're going to keep it at 50% or better, and let's say it's at 51, 52%, because it's such a small value item that you should be replacing, as in, like I said, a piston ring or a push rod, you may as well replace it. When it comes to the big ticket items, maybe like the engine block, or maybe I don't know what else is valuable on this vehicle, maybe the cylinder heads, then it would make sense not to replace those with new. Let's just keep them running at the 50, whatever it is, 50% or 51, 52%. But you know what? Yeah, this has really thrown me a curveball. It was not what I expected. But without further ado, let's go and take a look at this bad boy where there's no profit, and let's let's crack on. Okay, so back in the garage, I actually said something I think was a bit confusing there when I said, oh, keep it at 51%. Of course, that was the whole idea. We replace any parts that were below 50%. But I think, like I said, some of the low ticket items that were, at 50, 52, 53 or whatever, they should actually have been replaced to improve the overall condition of the vehicle. Because if you take a quick look at this here, 35,000 is the value of the vehicle. You see the brake pads, they should have been replaced. Water pump pulley, spark plugs. I mean, all of this that's sitting now, below, 100% if you like, and the air filter. There's no money in these parts. They should have been replaced. Yeah, like I said, the low ticket items, you may as well replace. Oh, I didn't consider the restoration bonus, so that actually takes us into a little bit more profit. But anyway, I mean, yeah, it's some food for thought. If you're going to repair a car to a certain percentage, I think you have to have some leeway and say, you know what, small ticket items, small value, we're going to replace to 100%. We're not even going to argue about that. Frame condition 81%, so I don't really think that, to be fair, that just by putting it on the ramp and on the lifter and getting the frame up to 100%, I don't think that's going to really increase the value that much. But you know what? It's some fun. So let's get him on the ramp and let's see what he can do. We'll go through the rest of the garage and all the rest of it in a different video. As you can see, I've got some work in progress and some additional projects going on with some Porsches and stuff. But again, I'll be making and releasing some videos on that another time. But hopefully sometime soon. Okay, we'll just lift up slightly. Get our welding gear. For those that have not used welding gear before, which I'm sure most of you have, basically the welding gear is here. You move it to the lifter that you're on, which is in this case the car lifter C, and there we go. And we just click on here and we will do a use equipment, and it says, are you sure? It's $1,000. Yes, we are. Done. Let's put that back because it gets in the way. Okay, let's see if our 1,000 was well spent. Nope. Nope. Nopey, nope, nope. I don't think we're gonna make a profit on this vehicle. It'd be interesting to know if anyone actually does know. Leave a comment how much this is actually worth. I mean, interior condition, global. There's no money in this at all. But you know what? For the sake of good order, what's that? What's missing up there? Oh no, it's front bumper. For the sake of good order, you know what? We're going to take it into the paint shop because we can now. And we're going to at least put a decent livery on this, get it all nice and sparkling, and then push it out back onto the road. Paint shop, we will do a full tutorial on the paint shop at some point, but right now basically I'm just going to go into the paint shop. It's set factory colour, which is white, which is fine, but I want to set the livery here to be something half decent, because we've got obviously some sort of test car livery. That's dodgy. Oh, security, NYPD. Oh, it can be a taxi too. Or it could actually be what was the other one? Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, well, we're going to put this to NYPD. That's what we started out as. Oops, sorry, let's just go back. Paint the car another 1,000, so another loss. But you know what? Now it's all nice and snazzy. What's all that on the side? Is that blood? Oh, is that not repaired? Hang on, let's just get it out the spray booth. Car lifter C. Let's just have a quick look, because maybe the parts condition are actually not that bad. Global parts 81%. Let's just see, just for the sake of what's it worth? Well, it's still worth the same because obviously a spray job doesn't do anything for it. But let's just for, you know, humour me here, humour me. Of the bits we can repair, not talking windows and lights and everything else, but we can certainly repair these bits and pieces. Let's just see if that makes a difference. I'll probably end up damaging them and having to spend even more bloody money on the car. Okay, so over to the repair bench. Bearing in mind that now we can repair a lot more items with a lot more success. Jack with his hammer. Oh, you can see there's a lot of stuff in here that, yeah, is from ongoing projects, so just bear with me. I just want to get to the stuff that's being repaired for the Crown Vic. To be fair, I should have taken these out, but either way, we will go through this whole repair process of why I have so many things I'm trying to repair and the money I'm trying to make and all the rest of it. But there we go, so everything's done. Okay, let's go back to the Crown Vic. And let's put the parts back on and see if that increased the value at all. Look at that lovely engine. I don't understand why it's not worth anything. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. Okay, can we at least go into putting stuff back on the car? Front bumper. I haven't even checked if I repaired everything successfully, so I may have to buy a new part, but So far so good. Everything's at 100%. Even the mirror with the spotlight, wonderful. Let's just make sure we put the windows back in. I'm not going to buy new windows at this point. I mean, come on. I'm already into this enough. I'm already deep enough into this. Oh yeah, looking spectacular. Let's just put these tail light. Oh, 2%. Do you know what? They will really bring it down, won't they? That one's fine. But this one, left trunk tail light. Maybe that's worth a quick visit to the body shop. Crown Vic. Of course, you can put all these different mods on it. We're not interested in that right now. It was the left one. It was this one, I believe. $67. Come on, let's make it right. Okay, let's put this door on. I don't know why I've got two doors for that side, but anyway, I guess it must have been one of the parts I picked up from the good old scrapyard. Oh, that was the wrong door, wasn't it? Obviously, wrong colour. Let's just put the other door back on. That must have been the right colour. Yeah, it must be this one, because this one's the white one. There we go. Wing mirror, I think that's the final touch. Has it got plates on? Let's just put the old New York plates on that it had when it came in, just to keep the continuity going. Okay, what's it worth now? What's it worth now? Bearing in mind I've spent a small fortune on it now. 35. You know what? Forget it. Yeah. Let's just move it over here. Let me just take it in so I can get a nice look at it. Well, you know what? It looks the dog's bollocks, as they say. It looks great. I think that's ready to go back out on the road. So let's get shut of it and goodbye. The thing is, I've actually bought another one of these. Not not a police car though. It's just the Crown Vic neighbour, I think it is. And I was thinking of making some of the parts as donor parts for this one, but with the experience I've had with this one, forget it. I'm not touching it. So yes. And that's all we've got time for today, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a short one. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown of all the the money I spent on it and all the good stuff where I didn't make any actually real profit on it, and even less profit now that I've resprayed it and fixed the bodywork and fixed the frame and everything else. But it's the main point was to show you that just because you're buying a vehicle, you're not always going to make a profit. I was way too deep into this. I spent way too much money on the restoration and buying a new engine block and all that good stuff. Now I've got the repair bench and I'm much better at repairing stuff. I don't think I would fall into the same trap. Not that I fell into the trap per se. I just had a mission that I wanted to do it at 50%, and you know what? That was not the best way to do it. Anyway, either way, it's a Saturday. I hope you enjoyed it, and as you know, I really appreciate the fact that you dropped by to listen and that you stopped by to also watch. So thank you very, very, very much indeed. Have a great day. Jack's out.